Good evening, listeners in Guyana and globally. Much is happening in the world. Sri Lanka is having its continuing problems, and IMF has agreed to lend them $2.9 billion. Hopefully, that will see them in a better path. But it will not, with all due respect, in my back channels as at this morning, will not be the only solution because the people are still suffering, and usually the IMF always 100% style is to always reduce subsidies. Who receives subsidies? The poorest persons. Electricity subsidy, gas subsidy, food subsidies are all likely to cut. So hopefully there will be a better day, but it's a sticky wicket in cricket terms. And those China projects, sad to say, I don't want to be an alarmist, but you better communicate so people will listen, is lessons for Guyana. Too much overbuilding too fast. And as a result, they're unable to pay the loans and the rest happens. They were depending on tourism, big on tourism. I visited there a couple of times. Beautiful country, beautiful people. But with COVID 2 years, no visitors. That was the beginning of the disaster. I don't want to be an alarmist for Guyana, but if there is trouble in the world, again, and oil drops from now $83 to $40, we will not be able to pay the debt and the high loans. This is a fact. There's one group of people in the US I'm privy to are forecasting oil can be as low as $40. Right now it's 80. So that's the kind of a dangers can happen if Guyana, I know we have Sri Lanka, friends, families, and favorites. We have that in Guyana too. And there are other places in the world, but we have to have a balance. Slower on the projects and less on borrowing. Use our own monies. Islamic Development Bank asked this morning, why is Guyana not losing its own monies, and let's see how they can manage their monies. If they can manage their monies, why do we have to lend them? I says, a good point. I cannot quarrel. Very reasonable. So people are thinking that way. Now, today is Monday, and tomorrow it is likely that President Trump will be charged. He is being accused, or facts are there, information is there, that he paid $130,000 to Stormy Daniels. In America, no one is above the law, no one. And the history says that the last President Nixon, he was supposed to be indicted, and before he was indicted, he decided to resign. Now, the attorney for President Trump, His Excellency, paid $130,000 to the porn star Stormy Daniels at the request of President Trump. The attorney said that over and over in media, in front of the court, in front of all the juries. He was fined, charged, and went to jail. The new Attorney General in New York is of the opinion Alvin Bragg was elected in 21. He had said no before, but he reviewed the evidence, and they're close to making major decisions tomorrow. A former president must receive protocol. That's American standard. The office receives the protocol, and he will. So the biggest headache is, how do they do it? Do they treat him the way with a handcuff and all the other stuff? That is the biggest headache they're trying to solve, to do the work by law, but with respect. He is due for respect, and globally, you're not guilty on the tests unless the facts are proven in courts and before jury and all other kinds of checks and balances. We're hoping that there'll be peace and tranquility. His attorney, Cohen, has already over and over reported President Trump is active, involved, and it is his decision. And based on the facts, that's what we are. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hope that peace, order, and tranquility prevail. And once again, the due process of law will reign supreme. Good night and blessings to all of us.